Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today I'll be playing another Crab's Treasure. I know I did promise another Hoi 4 video, but due to some complications, that will be delayed for some time. So instead, I will be doing a slight mini-series on another Crab's Treasure instead. Let's get straight into it.
What word comes to mind when you think of the Earth? For some, that word might be beautiful. Others might say the world is hateful, or evil, or unstable, or full of shit. But above all else, the word that best describes our world is resilient. Against the odds, time and time again, creatures adapt to make the most of their given environment. Some learn to feed on others, stealing their vitality for their own. Some become scavengers, living off what strangers leave behind. And others still, as we will soon see, would prefer to be simply left alone.
Go away! No one's home!
Sir, please open up.
Oh, you're not a bird.
Sir, are you the owner of this residence?
You mean my shell? Yeah, it's mine. Do you like it?
I represent the Royal Duchy of Slacktide, which has recently annexed the territory surrounding and including this tide pool. I'm here to inform you that you have outstanding taxes that date back in upwards of 10 tides. If you are presently unable to pay this balance, the Duchy will claim you home until you...
Hold on. I've got some questions. First of all, what's a duchy? Also, taxes?
Okay, so basically, the Duchess of Slacktide owns this whole area now. And she puts a lot of effort into keeping it safe. So, everyone who benefits from that has to abide by her rules and pay up once per tide.
There's still plenty of birds here. I don't know if it's really safe.
Look, kid, I don't have time to argue political nuances here. I've got a lot of tax evaders to get to. You gotta pay up right now, or I'm gonna have to repo your property. Got it?
Okay. I think I've got a hard kelp or two around here somewhere.
And with that, I'm back. I didn't want to interrupt the little beginning scene at all. So to begin with, we go over here to pick up some of these heart kelps, which are basically the healing potions for this game. And something that I find quite odd about this game is that they don't have a voice coverage for every dialogue, like right here. Earlier they had some voices, and now and with that unable to pay our taxes, he yoinks our house away. Or shell. Or clothes, since characters mentioned that we're naked, so I don't know what the classification of that shell is. Is it our clothes, our house, or what is it? Anyways, I guess it doesn't really matter, considering that he just yoinked it from us, so there's that. So right here we start to plead. I don't know if people want me to read out the dialogue for each character. I'm probably not going to do that unless I see comments asking me to do that. Also, something to note, I don't think our main protagonist swears. I don't know if I'm just like blind, but I kind of sworn he just said crab instead of crab. It's quite odd. Anyways, this is just the beginning section right here. I'll skip to like a more interesting part when we craft the fork, because this is just like the tutorial essentially. And about 3 minutes later, or probably even less than that, honestly, we're already at the fork. Really isn't, you know, it's a rusty fork. There's just not much to speak about. But something that I do want to know is just the sheer detail in this game. To the little like bubbles and microplastics floating around, to like the little flag background for that dialogue for characters. It's quite lovely. You can really tell that they put a lot of effort and detail into the game. And by first looks, you wouldn't think that this is a Souls game, like at all. But like just this looks around me. This looks more like a kiddie type game. Like, bar like the guy swearing earlier, wouldn't really consider this to be an adult game. But I mean, even look at the combat. Not particularly difficult. And off rip, you wouldn't really expect this game to be, you know, like a Souls-like if you weren't told that it was. It feels more just like a, you know, average, I guess, exploration adventure game. And now we're introduced to this game's equivalent of the bonfire, which, why don't we just live here? Like, I assume like later on they explain why like Crow can't just sleep here, or like live here, but you know, it's a shell. It's just like too big for him. Can't just like rest here for the rest of his life. But yeah. Even though this is like our first campfire, we can't really do much besides just heal and save the game. We can't level up until like quite a bit into the game. I wonder why he calls us quite persistent. He's like the one that's still around. Like, you know, he doesn't have to be here. You know, piss off. So, I feel as though he was just here just to make us mad. Anyways, we're introduced to the Shallows. Quite a lovely location. And with the introduction of the Shallows, we're introduced to one of the locals. Real piece of work this one is. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if like, if you keep him alive, there's like some type of secret thing they get later on, but he's racist, as you guys look at the dialogue just a second. You hermit crabs, that's racist. And if you couldn't tell by the Enclave video, I don't support racism. There's only one acceptable thing to do. That's to end his life. Anyways, we're starting to near the castle, but something that I want to show is that early on the combat isn't that difficult. Like, I'm like a literal Neanderthal right here, and yet, again, it's not that hard. I know that Souls-like doesn't mean that like the enemies are going to like break your legs, rip off your jawbone, and then rip out your spine and beat you to death with it. Well, like these simpletons are quite easy for like the difficulty spike that like the boss comes in. I only played like Dark Souls 1 and a little bit of Elden Ring. I got to like the wizard castle part in Elden Ring. So I'm not good at Souls type games by any means, but even this beginning section is quite easy. You know, I say that, but the moment we get to the boss, I kind of get my legs like caved in. or bent backwards or ripped off. The point is, I get absolutely mutilated. And again, this part right here like confuses me a lot because they refer to us being naked, meaning that, you know, our show is basically our clothing, but it's also our house. So I guess our portable home. No sense. Anyways, let's just skip to the boss. And yeah, this is the boss arena. Before we start it up, we just go over here and, you know, press the button. And you inks out a few soda cans. Oh, that says weird metal shell instead of soda can, even though it said.
Lawbreaker!
Oh crap, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to grab a ticket?
You think yourself above the law, but the law is not so easily outwitted. By its strength alone do we rise above the beasts.
I'm really sorry. I'll go to the back of the line, okay?
Ha! You should be so lucky. I'll have your head like I have these other worthless lawbreakers.
And with that, the first boss fight begins. At that, you know, I get interrupted. My only complaint about the boss fight is that, you know, if you couldn't tell, I'm kind of struggling because I haven't really gotten used to like the mechanic shit with the shell, you know, block and such. That's my only complaint. I wish that they threw some bigger enemies at you first before like throwing this guy who breaks your legs for just being Neanderthal, but you know, I get the hang of it. It took a few attempts, like 8 attempts, before I finally got down like the blocking and such. It doesn't also help that I'm playing on my PlayStation 5 controller instead of my Xbox controller. So I also have that with me. But yeah, I still have to get his attacks down. Want to block, want to charge up, I'll dodge. Again, a pretty good boss. My only complaint is that I wish they threw a little bit like a weak enemy at you. Try to get the hang of like blocking with the shell and how that works out.
Through my blade is justice stuck. I'm in turn.
But yeah, he isn't a particularly difficult boss, despite he, you know, dying 8 times. The only difficult thing is that, you know, inexperience kind of works against you. But yeah, once I got the combat unlock, I started working circles around this man. And with that, one combo finishes him off.
Run the law forever, kid.
And with that, the first boss is down, the Blue Lobster. He takes a massive L. Ignore the fact that he killed me like 8 times. But yeah. Anyways, I plan on making every episode just to the journey to the boss and defeating them. So I'll be editing it right about here after I level up my character. I do hope that you guys end up enjoying this little mini series that I'm cooking up right now. And with that, thank you for staying by this long. Please hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, I'll probably be uploading the next episode in around 2 days or so. I especially hope you like my little thumbnail. I'll be making a realistic one of each boss. Or at least trying to. Anyways, thank you and good night.